Howdy folks, Kirk and Jason here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. My son Dan, he's been gone for a couple of years. Turn around and say, "What up, Dan?" Anyway, he's been up in Sonora working construction up there. We're in Alameda. Anyway, what we're doing here is we're installing some flex wrap on these. And the contractor said, "Is that better than the 2-ply paper?" I said, "It depends." When I was first starting in the union, way back 35 years ago, there was no plywood. We had to paper everything without the luxury of plywood. And I would do things like this, wrap it with paper. I could wrap this with paper, but now they have these new products out, and this is not real new. It's probably 15 years old. In fact, I've used it many times in the past. I'm going to show you guys how to use it. It's kind of pricey, but you save on some time. And one of the benefits of this is that you could staple through the top. You actually could staple through the top of the 2-ply paper, but when you pierce the paper with staples or nails, that's good for a vertical plane. But on a plane that's flat like this, you kind of want to peel and stick. And usually this Dupont stuff is butyl-based. I got a story about butyl-based stuff. Anyway, it's got 2 layers. And depending on the thickness, I've got some 6-inch stuff here. This is 9, so I'm going to put 2 layers. And just for the sake of being in a hurry, I'm going to pull both of these off at once because it's a cold day today. It's windy. If it was hot, I wouldn't do 2. So what you do is you kind of put this on here, and it's kind of like an accordion. You put it on, and what you do is you want to do it like an accordion. You come down here and it sticks. And then, you see here, it fans out. It's kind of like an accordion. And you do pay for that fanning out stuff. This butyl-based, that means like what they have for car windshields. That's kind of a gluey stuff for car windshields. That's how we do this, and we put another piece over this and go on the other side, similar to what we kind of did in here. Can you show this in here, Jay? Or better yet, I can show it. Okay, we're going on the outside where it's less congested. Now here, I left the paper on because you got 2 layers of paper here, and depending on what you're doing, you pull the layer off, and then you stick it. You stick it to the existing paper, and you fan it out. Now, with using this, I could staple through the top because I got to put corners on here. So you come down again, come down, and then use your wrist right in these corners, and boom, that's waterproof forever. You come down, and you take your hand and kind of use your whole wrist. Boom, that's waterproof forever. And now you just take this. That's done. It's kind of like over here too. I'll just show you. You kind of see here, this wall's done. It's all sealed off and everything. And see how that's crooked right there? What happens if you put it on crooked? Nothing. Nothing happens if you put it on crooked. It's just crooked. It's still waterproof. It doesn't matter. I want to say one last thing about this butyl-based stuff. I was in I had a DUI like 30 years ago. I was in a class, and a lady was talking about the butyl-based windshields on a car, and we're thinking, man, where's this going? And she says that it was a drinking while driving class 30 years ago. And I remember this because it was so crude. Those of you who got a weak stomach, don't listen to this last part because it got nothing to do with what we're doing. I'm just talking about useless stuff that don't amount to nothing. She says, in this class, she says, well, there was one person in here and his nose was jacked up. And she said, he was driving while drunk and a car hit him, and he hit another car, and his face went to the windshield, and it was butyl-based windshield. And his nose went through it. Then when he went back, it took his nose off. And we're in the classroom. I'm listening to this. I'm thinking, wow. So I remember butyl-based because it was a butyl-based This is butyl-based, and car windshields are butyl-based, meaning they won't shatter like a piece of glass 30 years ago. You touch those and they just shatter. Anyway, I thought I'd bring that up because talking about butyl-based, every time I think about it, it reminds me of that time I was in that class. Anyway, guys, we thank you for watching, and as usual, we'll see you guys on the next one.
All right, folks, as always, thank you for watching another Giordano stucco video. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe so we can keep making them. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.